question we're asking this morning is, what are your thoughts on miscarriages and the stigmatization attached to it? We put that out there on our WhatsApp, and we got a lot of comments that we will be sharing with you this morning. This one is anonymous. She or he asked us not to share who they are, so we're going to be reading the comments. So this person says, I haven't given birth yet, but as a woman who has seen other women suffer from a miscarriage, I can tell that the experience can be a very traumatic one. The loss of a baby, no matter at what stage of pregnancy, is a very, very sad and an isolating experience. I had a neighbor who actually miscarried. 1 minute her belly was a bit big and the next it was down. A lot of us thought she had given birth. Of course, typical neighbor behavior. They will always gossip while washing clothes on the compound on a weekend. I overheard one saying that it's because the baby took the ugly father's face. That's why they have refused to come out with the baby. Ha! Some even suggested that the baby was probably born prematurely, given the fact that her tummy was small and all of a sudden she don't born. Like, these people haven't even seen the baby yet though. Anyways, I thought to check up on her, not for the gossip's sake, but because prior to that day, I had a bad dream about her that scared me and just wanted to be sure both mother and child was fine. Had my doubts she was at home though, because we had not seen her for almost a month. It was until I got in and saw the husband who called her out for me that I got to know the entire story. Apparently, she had a miscarriage that almost took her life, and the weeks we didn't see her at home. She was hospitalized and only got back a few days before my visit. She was even still under bed rest, so I wasn't supposed to see her. I guess they confided in me because before she got pregnant, the wife and I were very close. She had lost weight, and I could also sense stress in the husband's face. I felt so bad seeing her and was even more angry at the other neighbors that kept on gossiping. But I couldn't tell anyone, yet people said all sorts of rubbish. If only they knew. Perhaps they wouldn't. Then again, if they knew it was a miscarriage, they might have even said worse things than they had already said. Most especially those neighbors. Man, there's nothing like owning your own house. Anyways, may God forgive we humans for our insensitivity. Wow. This is a very deep one, and this would, launch me into the conversation of what is your business? In fact, I'm going to be very harsh on people.
My exact question.
I'm going to be very harsh on people that will not be minding their business in any of the comments that I'm going to be taking this morning, because I've realized that we project so much on people, and a lot of people are very insensitive to the pains that people go through, and we pride ourselves in invalidating other people's feelings. I mean, this thing where I'm trying to share my story with you, and the next thing that comes out of your mouth is, I understand. No, you don't. You don't understand. You don't understand. Even if you've gone through worse things.
I'm trying to. What I do when I share, when I have conversations with people, especially when it comes to sharing about pain and all of that, I try to bring it down to the tiniest level that the person can relate with, and then tell the person to magnify it by maybe 1,000,000 or 1,000, depending on, I have not been able to do that, to explain what miscarriage feels like to anybody on that level. If you tell somebody that, imagine using tweezers to pull hair from your skin, now magnify it by, I don't know, maybe 2 million, and then add flesh and blood to it.
Oh my God.
You get what I'm trying to say?
Graphic,
but you now see people who cannot even process, they can't even process the fact that, why would you say so much nasty things about somebody? I'm pissed, because you see this woman, 1 minute she's pregnant, the next minute she's not. The least you can do, if you don't, some people don't know how to relate with loss. They don't know how to come and meet you and say, I'm sorry for your loss. They don't know how to grieve with you. It's fine.
That's okay.
But stay in your lane and don't say nasty things.
That's okay.
Why would you say they chose not to bring out the baby because the baby is ugly?
But why would you actually call somebody...
Which baby can you create?
See, why would you... Who gives you the right? Like, who gives you the right? Who gives anybody the right to call a baby fine or ugly?
Call anyone fine or ugly for that matter.
Who gives you, who says, I mean, I've seen people have conversations and then they say that the person's husband doesn't look great. How is it your business? Your husband that looks great, how far? Don't let me be angry with you this morning, no. Don't let me be angry with you this morning. Seriously. But on a very serious note, I think it's unfair that you do not know where this person is. This woman has been hospitalized for so long.
What if she had died?
What if she? Thank you. What if she died? What if she was even in the house and she had died? You are sitting out there, you're washing clothes.
You know, I was saying something the other time that there's so much from this miscarriage, this Banky W and this first story that we need to pull out and really talk about.
Yeah, that's what we're going to do.
We're talking miscarriage now. Yeah. Do you know that there's another angle to this? It is no longer, it's not miscarriage. The woman carries to term and then gives birth to a stillbirth or a dead baby. Are we ready for that conversation?
No, let's just
Are we ready to have the conversation of a woman gives birth and then maybe a week after giving birth to the child starts falling sick and then they eventually lost the child? Are we ready to talk about that? Are we ready?
Are we even ready to talk about the fact that the child made it to 6 months?
There's a lady, I mean, usually doctors would tell you that, okay, I mean, and I'm saying this from the conversations I've had with doctors. Usually most doctors will tell you that if you lose a pregnancy in the first or second trimester, in the first trimester rather, first, second or third month, it can still be understandable that, okay, maybe there were some congenital defects, there was a problem, something happened. But you know, it is worse. It is more difficult when you lose a baby or a pregnancy at 6 months. At 7 months.
That's already a baby.
I mean, so usually people, I want to chalk it down to, which is not an excuse, but I want to chalk it down to ignorance. People are ignorant of what people are going through.
Yes.
People don't know their experience. They don't know all of these things. And since you don't know, can you just drink water and mind your business?
I even thought you wanted to say something that I wanted to say, but you're a nice person, so let's just, drink. Let's do it, drink water. I think drinking water is just nice.
Bibi Josh from Ogun State says, miscarriages are always not a scene of joy. The pain is even more so different for a woman. Let me tell you how I felt. Oh my goodness. Let me tell you how I felt when I found out I was pregnant. Being married for 2 years, no child. Some of you might say 2 years is such a short year to be expecting, but it is not. From the very first year, my husband and I wanted a child. The idea we had and still have is to just give birth to all 3 children within a period of 5 years so that we know we are done with childbirth. Remind me of what I want to say about expectations, please.
Expectations, all right.
But that wasn't the case the first year. Second year came, still nothing. At this time, we had tried a lot. What kind of sex did we not have? Or is it the number of times in a day? This is why I've come to believe that the subject of pregnancy doesn't entirely depend on the partners. If it's not time for you to, then it is not time. But by the 3rd year, when I found out I was pregnant, I was filled with so much joy. From that very day, I gave my baby a face. I started imagining how beautiful she looked that I couldn't wait for her to be delivered. I was only 1 month and a few weeks gone, but I had already started counting down to our day of delivery. That was how excited I was, which is why I could relate with Adesua's testimony. If you watch her video, you would be touched. It's a lot, I tell you. A woman, from the day she finds out she's pregnant, can't wait to hold her child. Now imagine she loses the child. Imagine the pain she'll be in. Such a woman will need all the support she can get, which is why I really appreciate Banky W for his support towards his wife, and I hope more men emulate him. This is what I was going to say about expectations.
Yeah.
When you're trying to conceive, in fact, when I was trying to conceive, I bought packs of pregnancy test strips at home. So every month when my monthlies came, it was sadness. I felt like, oh my God, not again. On a normal day, I have painful monthlies. So in my head, I'm really looking forward to let's just have this child and get it over with. Imagine the disappointment that you have to bear, and this is from undue pressure. You feeling like you're not woman enough, or you feeling like you're not capable, or you feeling like, oh, you have failed as a woman, and it's a social construct, really. If you don't have a child, or if you cannot bear children, or if you're not pregnant within the first year, and every month when the monthlies came, there's disappointment. So calculate, for those who have tried for 3 years, calculate monthlies for 3 years. 36 months of you expecting and not seeing, expecting and not seeing. Now imagine that you finally see. Now, imagine my joy when any of those test strips come back positive. Now imagine that you have that expectation that, oh wow, finally, I'm so happy, I'm so glad. And then out of the blue, you are sleeping one day and there's a sharp pain in your tummy, and voila, that's it. Or the one that you've gone to the hospital, you've done scans, you've seen the movement, you're excited, you even printed the scan picture like, hey, you know, we're going to rock this. I'm going to dress her in pink. Yeah. I'm going to dress him in purple. It's going to be the most chubbiest, handsome thing on... And then nothing to show for it. It is traumatic for a woman because it's a crazy mental gymnastics. You ask yourself questions that don't exist. Be like, Abi, is because I drank cold water? Abi, is it because okay, maybe I ate too much rice? You would legit,
stress. Maybe it's work.
You would stress. You would stress over it. And if you are one of those people that know how to chalk up pain and just, okay, no problem.
Let's just
the
keep
day you would blow in somebody's face, they will not even know why you are so aggressive. They will not know. So I can relate, like I said, I could relate on so many levels with their testimony. And I am one of those people that is very excited that they shared, because now it will force every one of us to have the conversations that we have avoided for so long.
Yeah. My goodness, I'm going to say this, that every woman that has gone through this is strong. You are amazing, and it's just beautiful that you're able to share this and share with millions of people around the world that are watching you at the moment. And it's a beautiful thing that you're able to talk about your journey going through this. I cannot imagine the pain that you went through. I cannot imagine.
I can't imagine it myself on that day.
I can't imagine the tears, the conversations that you have had with yourself, the looking at the mirror and asking yourself so much questions.
And there are a billion things that can contribute to a miscarriage. It might just be that for some people, it's not even a miscarriage. For them, it is trying to conceive. They not even just get pregnant. And you can't blame them. It's probably an hormonal imbalance thing. Maybe they have testosterone in too large quantities. So usually every woman has the male and female hormones, and the male hormones actually helps you to regulate your system as a woman. Yes. So if you have it in excess, if you have it in too much quantity, you may not get pregnant. So it would be more like you have man internal, so to speak. Yes, majorly. So and people don't even know that these things exist. People just think, she ate her children in the dream. She's a witch. She's this, is that. Especially coming from sisters of your husband who are probably, they are women as well, and then you'll be wondering,
the reason why they might not understand what you're going through or what you've gone through is because they did not go through that. This was very easy.
Yeah, a friend of mine shared her story with me, and I felt for her, and I didn't know that any of that happened. And when she was telling me, she said she could not tell anybody. That in fact, somebody looked at her one day and said, I'll say it exactly how I was said in Yoruba and interpret. That someone looked at her and said, èèyàn tó níwà gan, Ọlọ́run ò tíì dá lóhùn. Káṣẹ̀ tó wá sọ ìwọ tó ò níwà. Like the person who is well behaved, who is pleasant, who is nice, simply because they had an argument and she stood her ground that I'm not going to take this.
What?
Yes, you heard right.
What?
So people are mean. People are legit mean.
That is diabolical. There is nothing you can tell me. That is extremely diabolical.
We have a lot of views. Victoria from Lagos says, stigmatization is the worst thing that can come with a miscarriage. I feel it is so unfair, and sometimes I just wish society would be more friendly to us women, most especially. Every time we go through a body change, hormonal imbalance, or even life challenges, women try to be honest. We are very strong, but yet we suffer the most.
Yes, we do.
Victoria is spot on. She's spot on.
Victoria is spot on. Yes, I mean, she said something about, body changes and hormonal imbalance. You see, there was a time we had a conversation on PCOS, and then, that is when some people now finally realize that you can actually have something called hormonal imbalance.
Yes.
You, as a female, can have testosterone.
Yes. There's PCOS as well.
Yeah, that's because, yes.
Polycystic ovarian syndrome. There's that one on there. And how about women that are battling with fibroids? There's like 1,000,000,001 reasons why a woman may not get pregnant. And we've not started talking about the morbidity or the mobility of the man's semen. We've not started talking about that. We've not even touched that table.
I think that's a conversation that we need to jump into.
Men are not open.
They're not even aware.
They're not open to being tested. They're not open to checking if they are okay.
You see, so there is this quick one that I'm going to share. So, some people actually feel that because they've impregnated somebody before, they think that they are healthy.
Yes.
That is another conversation. Like, I've had a baby before now. I'm healthy and none of that. Go and get tested, my friend. Stop it. All right, let's move on to the next comment. This is anonymous. Person says, well, the very first time I ever witnessed a miscarriage was with my friend's babe. I legit saw blood that I hate so much gushing out of her. Don't really know the full story, Sha. But I think my guy said that the doctor said his babe's womb can't hold a baby for long due to multiple abortions. He said he never even knew she had had an abortion before. The thing do me like movie. I don't know if they're still together, but I guess not. It's been long, except I read up on the topic. I can't say much on it, but doesn't it happen as a result of what women eat, or like this, my friend's case, a damaged womb? Well, I don't know. Please, women, be strong.
What this person said points to what we were saying about not knowing, being ignorant of what could cause it and all of that. And Dr. Olu, we had this conversation with Dr. Olu, and I remember that he mentioned that sometimes it is not miscarriages are not a direct consequences of abortion. Sometimes he said, however, at other times it can be just that the only reason why someone might be exposed to miscarriages is because they have had an abortion or two, or if the abortion was not carried out properly in a good clinic, and because it is criminal in Nigeria to get an abortion. You see people going to quacks and, abele pharmacies to go and get rid of pregnancies. And that's why it takes us back to the conversation. As a young lady, if you want to have sex, unprotected sex, it's not advisable because you really don't know how it's going to turn out for you. There are so many ways you can protect yourself. There's the morning after pill. There are contraceptives. There are a lot of things you can, protect yourself with. And besides, unprotected sex is not even advisable. Infections now, infections.
People actually would prefer to have infections than get pregnant. Do you know?
I know, and it's tiring.
I was doing a survey.
And you know that people assume that the only infection that they're exposed to is probably HIV or gonorrhea And when Dr. Olujepitu was explaining, he was even explaining that sometimes even those infections that you think
just get medications and I'm fine,
actually damage your womb, can actually damage your scrotal sac. What's the English? Yes, that's English.
That's it.
And at the end of the day, you would have yourself to blame if truly you just didn't take you were reckless with your decisions. You didn't take enough protection. You didn't take protective measures. So just make sure that you are okay. And I would like to say this: people who before now, society used to paint it as it is only people who have had abortions, who have lived recklessly, that have miscarriages. People who were, so to speak, virgins, brand new, both husband and wife, when they got married to each other, still have issues like this. So it has nothing to do with being a virgin or not. However, it has a lot to do with taking care of your reproductive health. When they say women go for is it cervical or cervical?
Cervical cancer.
Cervical cancer screening.
Yeah.
You say, we don't have it in my family. Go. There's
Pap
really,
smear,
yes,
you know,
go
all of
for
these
pap
things.
smears. Check on yourself. As a single lady, don't assume that, oh, because I'm not sexually active yet, I don't need to bother. Check yourself. If you are one single lady whose whose monthlies, your menstrual flow is not regular, maybe you have it this month, you have it for 3 days, next month it doesn't come at all, or it disappears for another 6 months, and you are rejoicing because I understand. I'm sitting on this table. I don't like the pain that comes with it and the all sort of drama that comes with it. But if you miss it, yes, we know you didn't have sex unprotected or anything. But if you miss your period, please go to the hospital, have yourself checked out, because it might be, and that's it. Our monthlies are actually pointers to what our reproductive health would look like, and I'm talking about women now. I can't really talk about men because I'm not a man. So if you miss your monthlies, you feel like it's not coming regularly, or there's something off about it, the color, the consistency, it's flowing too much, it's not flowing at all, please visit a hospital. It's flowing, but it's very thick and clumpy, and
you're having clots.
Please
and everything.
visit a hospital, because you really don't know what's going on your inside. But if you leave it there like that, it might portend a problem later in future. So for the doctor that told the lady who had a miscarriage that it was due to multiple abortions, it's very possible as well.
It's very possible.
It's very possible.
But then I do not want people to assume.
Yes, so you can't assume. You have to actually know what caused the first miscarriage, so that you can prevent it from happening again.
All right, so this is another anonymous comment, and this person says, I don't even know if the word is stigmatization or just lack of common sense. I am a man. I witnessed a doctor nod his head to a man waiting at the hall to hear the doctor's statements. Fortunately for me, my wife just gave birth and I was so happy. But sadly, at the next word, a lady just lost her pregnancy. It happened to be the wife of the man the doctor came to call. When he came out receiving the bad news, our bad belly, a few of his friends and family were already at the hospital to give their condolences. Or so I thought. Started hearing things like, at least she did not die. Just thank God. Another one said, take her there. Another child would come. Thank God the baby was not so big before she lost it. I beg, Naki. Or na phone where then they lose. The man even wanted to talk, but one woman there just kept on telling him not to say much and save his energy as he's still hurting. Just imagine the nonsense. In such a situation, I believe that there is no right or wrong way to feel or behave. It's a sad experience, and the ability to talk openly about their loss and the feelings that they're experiencing can make a huge difference. It must have been incredibly difficult for the couples going through the pain of bereavement to have to listen to such ridicule in form of condolences while trying to conceal the pain. I just got angry and left. I think it's a sad indictment of our society that so many women feel pressure to carry on regardless of the pain they're feeling. I wonder if they made such statements directly to the woman who lost a child too. Please, word of advice to people. When someone is going through pain, avoid unhelpful platitudes such as, you are still young, you can try again. Ha! At least you did not die. Stop overthinking. If you're feeling like this, how do you expect her to feel? No, please take heart. I beg, stop saying all these things. These words are the real killers. Keep it to yourself, and this is very true.
I mean, Banky W made a statement that rings very true. He said that his own love language is acts of service.
Yeah.
He likes to fix things. He likes to help you out with situations. He likes to. I mean, I just tweeted the other day that Banky W doesn't ever let her phone run die, because she can actually leave her phone and it will run out and it will die and she will not care.
I'll tell you.
She will not care. And he on the other will be like, how can somebody use phone till it's 1% and he will not charge? And then he will plug it in. You're on that table, I know.
So what? The essence of 0% is to see it.
Oh, really? So where I'm going with that is when he said that, so for him, he became confused because she's one of the strongest people he knows, and he didn't know how to help. He didn't know what to say.
He became
helpless. He became helpless. So imagine the one person who is like your backbone also becoming very helpless, like, okay, I really don't know how to navigate this. Some marriages broke because of things like this.
Yes.
And it's not because maybe the man in question is Some men are insensitive. That's another conversation. But it's not because this particular man is insensitive, but because he doesn't even know how to navigate the loss. He has never navigated one before. Both of you are having that experience for the first time. You, on the other hand, you are grieving, you are angry. There's so many emotions going on. But this is one person who probably is not also in tune with his own emotions and doesn't even know who he is in light of loss and how to help you navigate it. And so it becomes a, you are ignoring me, I'm not ignoring you. Then you start shouting. Then before you know, he's insensitive. Do you know what I'm saying? So I'm saying this person has a valid point of know what to say and know, but sometimes it can be difficult. That's why I said if you don't know what to say, just sit. In fact, just being there is enough for some people. Just being there, just the fact that they can see you, you give them water. Don't even talk about the loss as if be there, grieve with them, but don't you will try again. You are still young. Please, no.
I fall under the category of people that,
I mean, was I not young when this one happened?
Thank you. So I fall under the category of people that gets very awkward when situations happen. The only thing that I'm going to be doing at that moment is listening. If you're talking to me, you can speak to me for 5 hours and I will not utter a word. And that's because I realized that there are times whereby the only thing somebody needs is a listening ear.
Yeah.
I just want to know that you're not judging me. I want to know that you're hearing everything that I've said. And I'm not asking you to comment. I just want you to hear me. I want to rant. I want to cry. I want to pour it out. And I want a shoulder that I can just rest my head on. And one thing that really baffles me is the blaming hand. It's so unfair. Like, why are you blaming me? Like, somebody just pointing fingers, especially when it comes from the person's partner. The blaming hand that comes from the person's partner, that the reason why we lost this baby is because your wala is too much. Imagine that. Imagine one person saying that to somebody that has just gone through some sort of evacuation.